So as you might be able to see, just moving in for a bit of a close-up panning shot, you can see there I've made the wafer cuts into the tread pocket, and you can actually see I've stayed clear of the waste lines or the connection points between the string and the tread. I want those lines left on for the moment. I don't want to breach those lines with the saw while I'm cutting the pockets. Reason being, I'm going to go for a nice tight fit, nice tight press fit with the tread material into the string. So I'm going to break the wafer material out now in the middle. I'm just going to go through and break that out so you can see we're going to remove the waste, and then I can show you actually the procedure for chiseling the pocket out. So just with my 20mm chisel, I'm just going to pop it into the centre of each of the wafer cuts and just give it a little bit of a twist. And that just breaks the wafers away from the grain of the string timber. That's fantastic. I'm not going to lean it back to try and break the wafer out, because what that might do, it might bruise the edge of the timber near where my connection between the tread and the string is going to occur, and that bruise will be seen by anybody walking up and down the stairs, and I don't want that. That's not a competent procedure, so not professional. So we're just going to break that material up with our chisel in each case. Just simply put it in the middle and just give you can see I'm using two hands on the chisel, just to give it a light twist on those wafer cuts. And then of course you can see why they're called wafer cuts, because the chips that come out are like little wafers. The waste chips are just like little wafers. So as we said, just breaking out the wafer material. Once we've been in there with the chisel and just snapped it all, we can actually just clear it away. It breaks out very easily, which is fantastic. What we're trying to do is remove resistance from the pocket. The reason we're trying to remove resistance from the pocket is because when we start chiseling it out, we want the chisel to find its way into the area of least resistance. For example, if I'm going to chisel down this line, I'm going to put the chisel there and run my cut. I don't want the chisel finding resistance here and pushing back. Again, it'll burr where the tread's going to fit and ruin my line. So by taking out the waste material and removing that resistance in the pocket, I can line up my chisel with the line and I can make a single hit. And as you see, the waste material pushes to the area on the side of the chisel where there's no resistance, and the line remains intact. And I can be really accurate then chiseling out my pockets all the way along, because all the waste material is going to go exactly where I want it, into this area that I've created in the pocket. You also notice I'm running the chiseling with the grain. You can see the grain on the string material running the direction of my finger, and I'm running my chisel with the grain. I'm not trying to chisel back this way into the grain. That creates more resistance, and the grains in the timber, the fibres in the timber, could well tear and chip out, and again it would ruin the visual between the top of the tread pocket and the string when the customer walks up and down the stairs. It ruins the job. So I'll just continue chiseling out this pocket so you can see exactly how it works. A little bit of a trick by removing that waste, because it means you're not going to have an issue of your chisel being pushed back and breaching the line. I can just tidy it up if I'm being careful and stay right inside my line. I can just come back and tidy it up to the line if I wish to. That's one side done, to where the area of greater resistance is at the end of the pocket as the saw blade exited. I'm going to now chisel this line, and again I'm going to follow the line of the grain. So I'm not going to come up this way as I did on the top side. I'm going to run with the grain going back that way. Just again to make sure I don't tear out any fibres. If we leave the line on, we know we're going to have a tight, nice press fit. You can see the waste breaking away into the pocket where there's no resistance. And you can see the fibres tearing away with the grain. They're not tearing up into the timber that the customer's going to see. So, good little tip. Just chiselling out the waste with my bevel of my chisel down to the bottom of the pocket, so I'm looking at the flat back edge, running with the grain to clean out this side of the pocket really easily and quickly, and then coming around and doing the same on the underside of the tread. What will be the underside of the tread? Again, not running this side that way because you can see it's against the fibre flow in the timber. I need to make sure I'm just running my sharp chisel edge two hands on the chisel, breaking out any remaining waste before I get into the edges, the face edge where the tread will go at the front and the back. In this case, just give it a bit of a sweep.